Star on January 12, 2024. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Thank you. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Feinman.
Here.
Councilwoman Travers. Vice President Ambrosino.
Here.
President Minikino.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have everybody rise for the salute the flag and a moment of silence, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes for May 28th meeting, please?
Motion.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Abstain.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Minikino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now we have some presentations tonight. I'd like to invite the mayor to the podium.
This is one of my favorite nights of the year. Very excited to be up here to talk about our CDBG grant awardees. Social service agencies fill a crucial role here in Brick Township. They provide basic essential needs to our residents and do so with caring and compassion. Each year, the township receives community development block grant funds to use specifically for social service projects. We award those funds via grants to agencies and programs that are here in Brick serving our residents. We received more than $100,000 in requests, but unfortunately, we only have $42,800 in CDBG grant funds to award. So the selection process is not easy, and the council and I appreciate the hard work of all the organizations that have applied, and we are excited here this evening to award those grant recipients, and I'll be calling them up. So when you do get called up, I would love for you to talk about your organization and what it is that you do for our community here in Brick Township. And of course, we'll get a picture. So I'm going to start with, unfortunately, one grant recipient that could not be here, the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Nobody's here from there, right? Okay. They are receiving $1,400 towards their goal of providing children facing adversity with strong and enduring, professionally supported one-to-one relationships that change their lives for the better. So we congratulate the Big Brothers and Big Sisters here in Brick Township. And again, they'll have an award of $1,400. The next group that I would like to call up is, if I could have Bob Scott from Caregiver Volunteers of Central New Jersey. They will be receiving $4,500 to assist the homebound and elderly with nutrition, transportation to doctor's offices, and companionship. So I'm excited to have you come on up and tell us about your program. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Well, no, we very much appreciate this, and thank you especially, Mayor. As we had our Dancing with the Stars last week, and the Mayor was gracious enough to give us some dancing, so we did appreciate that. So Caregiver Volunteers is we are an interfaith nonprofit agency dedicated to providing free supportive services to seniors 60 years and older who no longer can drive. We help them to continue to live independently in their own homes. We do serve Monmouth and Ocean County. I myself am a Brick resident. I'm a proud Brick resident. And one of the things that we do on the regular basis is we're doing about 100 free rides, transportation to doctor's offices for seniors. And it's kind of bridging the gap. We use technology where we're using Uber, but we're making the calls. We're actually, someone that doesn't have a cell phone can give us a call, and we actually walk them through the whole process. We do food shopping, friendly visits, caregiver canines, respite, reassurance phone calls. And we also have a Handy Andy program where we do a little bit of handiwork. The idea is really to keep people in their homes. I was actually watching the last board meeting, and I know that someone came up and was very upset about the taxi situation and such, but that's where we can come in and we can help out. Transportation is a tough thing. It can isolate you immediately. Right here in Brick, one of my favorite places is Greenbrier. And when I was helping someone, just lowering a shelf down 6 inches made all the difference in the world, because now she could grab different things. And we're having a conversation. She says to me, my husband passed away during COVID, and I haven't really been able to leave this house because I can't drive. Now, there's all these things that are going on at the clubhouse, but she's so isolated because she can't get over there. So one of the things that we're working on, and one of the things that the money that you guys have given us, and we really appreciate, is going to help us, is we're not just helping out those that need the services, but those that want to give the services. When you're a volunteer, it feels good inside. You do it for others, but you do it for yourself. So a lot of what we do is to supply the insurance, to work with the HOAs and these development companies, the developments, to actually make it safe for them to come in and do these kind of services, and to build internal groups just like ours in all of these over 55 communities. And we're going to keep doing it, and thank you so much for all your support, everybody. We really appreciate this very much. Thank you, guys.
Okay, our next recipient, and actually if everybody can hang out at the end, when we're all done, we'll do a group shot, okay? Our next recipient is the ARC. So I believe Lauren is here, come on down. The ARC is receiving $2,500 as part of its program to provide vocational skills training for people with intellectual disabilities, and we'd love for you to talk about your program.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for this grant. We are lucky to receive this almost annually, which is amazing. I know so many of you, we come here every year, and it's nice to see everybody and hear what you're doing. So the ARC supports people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in Ocean County and, of course, in Brick. We have housing options, employment supports, job training. We're also providing transportation to people with disabilities. We have recreation services. We just had our big formal last week, which was really fun. We have bowling. We have family support coordination. And we do a lot. We serve almost 1,000 individuals with disabilities, again, throughout Ocean County and here in Brick. What's special about this grant, though, is this is specifically for our employment supports program. So the funds that we receive from Brick pay ARC employment specialists to work hand in hand with people with disabilities to find competitive employment in Ocean County and in Brick. So you're essentially providing people the support to go out and get competitive wages, which I think is really important. So thank you. We're so excited to receive this, and it's nice to see everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, now I'd like to call up Marilyn Lago of the Church of Visitation, who is receiving $1,500 to help fund the Visitation Church Community Lunch Program, which is held the third Thursday of every month at Visitation Church. And I'm happy to have you guys come up to talk about it. Come on.
Thank you. I brought my friend who helps me in the kitchen. This is Catherine, and she is just such a love and a help. It's just wonderful. So on behalf of all the volunteers of the Visitation Church Community Lunch, I graciously accept this check and thank all involved who helped secure it for us. We could not have done this without the vision of two people, Frank and Isabel Chronics, who have passed away, but their vision and dedication still continues while we still have this community lunch service for 16 years. We have served over 4,500 people. And because of COVID, when numbers really went down, we are slowly building up. So now we're up to about 105 people every month. We serve anyone, no charge, the third Thursday of every month from 12 to 1. And I have flyers here for anyone who would like to pick one up to give you all the dates of when we're going to have the soup kitchen. So all the meals are homemade. We prepare them on campus, and everyone has access to an elevator. And we also have a small lending library. We are blessed with wonderful volunteers who serve, show friendship, help our guests, comfort them, and we'd be surprised how many people have become friends at this event and look forward to seeing each other every month. So not only do we feed the body, but the mind and the soul as well. So I'm going to leave you with a quote that I also said last year at this time, because I think it says it all. Let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. And that's from Mother Teresa. So again, thank you so much.
All right, next I'd like to call up Jim from Meals on Wheels, who is receiving $10,000 as part of their hard work to provide hot, healthy meals to our seniors. And I know I'd love to hear about what we do here. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Mayor Crate, and members of the Township Committee. Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here. I took a hiatus for a couple of years and made our board president come. I would have made him come again tonight, but he's busy. So you get me. My name is Jim Sigurdson. I'm the director of the Meals on Wheels program. I just started my 25th year. So I've been doing this for a long time. Our organization has been the county contract organization for nearly 50 years. In Brick, in 2023, we delivered over 35,000 meals to 200 of your homebound and food insecure seniors. We are more than meals. You probably have heard us say that before, but we are. We are really on the front line of wellness and safety for your seniors. Every day, our drivers not only deliver those meals, but they also provide a vital safety and wellness check on those homebound seniors to make sure that they're okay. And if they discover something not right, we intervene. We get a hold of a caregiver, a family member, or even call emergency services. And towards the end, I'll share a real story that just recently happened here in Brick. One of the things that we like to do is we like to survey our participants on a regular basis. We like to find out, what's going on in their lives, how they view our services. How can we serve them better to make their homebound, their isolation more tolerable? And that's what we do. We're there to make sure that those individuals not only have good nutrition, but that we can help to alleviate some of the loneliness and depression that comes from that isolation. And just that few minutes of contact with our driver every single day, and the knowledge that somebody is there caring for them, makes a tremendous difference emotionally, psychologically, and ultimately physically for those individuals. 74% of the individuals that we serve in Brick Township fall within the poverty level. 70% of them live alone. 54% are over the age of 85. 100% are frail. 64% are at high nutritional risk. 12% of the residents we serve are veterans. Okay, that's just Brick Township alone. Countywide, we provide over 1,000 meals a day. 18 Meals on Wheels routes cover all 535 square miles of the county. I could razzle-dazzle you with some more statistics, but the point is that we are far more than just meals to these individuals. We are a lifeline, a link to the community at large that these individuals live in, and as was so aptly put before from our friend from Caregivers, who are in desperate need of services to help keep them in contact with the community, okay, for their well-being. 92% of the Brick Township residents say that they feel more confident living independently because our driver shows up every single day to deliver their meal and to check in on their well-being. 85% of them say that they eat a more nutritious and balanced diet because they have our meal coming in every single day. 94% report that they feel less lonely because our driver knocks on their door and delivers their meal every single day. And 100% of them approve of the Brick Township Senior Services, their staff, the work that they're doing at their own community cafe, and how they serve the seniors of Brick Township. And so, yes, a big applause for Zuma Soto and her people. They're just wonderful. And they've been doing that for us for a very, very long time. And just so you know, Brick Township seniors also provides the in-home eligibility assessments for every Brick senior for Meals on Wheels. Our staff is charged with doing that throughout the entire county, but Brick Township does it because Brick Township believes that they should be serving their seniors. And they are in the homes of those seniors doing those assessments, every single one of them that comes across our desk. So we have a very long-standing relationship with Brick. And one very important fact before I get to the conclusion and the story I want to tell you is that Brick Township is the longest standing township for providing partnership with this organization financially. No other municipality provides the support to the extent and for as long as Brick Township has done that. And every single one of you, mayor, town council people, and the citizens of Brick should be very proud of the fact that your township sets an example that I really wish every other municipality did. Because if they did, we would have the money to expand our program without having to come begging everybody for it all the time. So you get kind of used to begging when you work for a nonprofit, so you understand that. So we are more than just meals. We provide more than just simply nutrition. This year, one of our drivers had to call in one of the adult communities for a Brick EMS worker to come. They came to a client's home, and when the client answered the door, the driver noticed that there was something off about the behavior of this individual. So they immediately called EMS. When EMS got there, they determined that the individual was suffering the aftermath of a stroke. And they were able to intervene and provide care for that individual. The point is, our drivers become more than just a friendly face and a smile. They become really like a family member. They're in and out of those homes every single day. They notice slightest differences in the actions or the behaviors of those clients, and they can help intervene to help save lives. So that's why we say we're more than just meals, and we appreciate Brick Township support. And you guys should all just send some love to your mayor and send some love to your town council, okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Our next recipient, I don't believe there's anyone attending. Is there anyone here from Contact of Ocean County? I'll just announce Contact of Ocean and Monmouth Counties is receiving $1,500 towards its crisis hotline. So we're happy to be able to provide that. Next, I'd like to call up Mary Cranwell from Interfaith Hospitality Network. They are receiving $2,500 towards continuing efforts to provide support for homeless families with children. And we'd love to hear about your program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Interfaith Hospitality Network, now Interfaith Family Services, has been in business since 1997, caring for the homeless families in our community. We shelter these folks through a rotation of churches and a synagogue throughout northern Ocean County. And we take care of these folks who are more than not, both of the parents have jobs and they still can't afford a place to live, which is a systemic issue in our area, affordable housing. And it gets worse. The last week of May, when folks need to vacate the temporary hotels that they were in because they need those rooms for the tourist season. So right now we have 5 families in program. 2 of them are actually formerly Brick residents where they were last housed. And these folks, one of them was living in her car with her 3 children. Others were evicted from the motels. I spoke to a gentleman the other day, because we do families, not individuals, who is thinking of committing a crime so he could go to jail, get a place to eat, and get someplace to eat, and a little bit of medical care because he can't find any place to go. Senator Robert Singer said this to me many years ago. In Ocean County, the homeless evaporate into the community during the day. So they go to their jobs, the kids go to school, they're at the grocery store, they're in the library. So we don't notice them as much as the street people. And those people need care too, and we have agencies that are working on that. But once again, these are folks who, for any number of reasons or circumstance, suddenly find themselves homeless with their children. And one of the advantages of our program is because of the fact of how we do this, our families can keep their children and don't have to put them into foster care. That is perfectly acceptable for children's services. So we thank the town of Brick because the continued support year after year, decade after decade for our agency is greatly appreciated. And the citizens of Brick should be proud of themselves for funding all of these projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anyone here from Dottie's house? Okay, Dottie's house is also receiving $4,500 to provide temporary shelter, counseling, and support for victims of domestic violence, including women and children. Is anyone here from Family Promise of the Jersey Shore? Family Promise of the Jersey Shore is receiving $1,500 to support a homelessness prevention program. So we're happy for them as well. Is John Brilla here from the Jersey Shore Council of Boy Scouts? They are receiving $1,500 towards their summer camp program, and we're excited to hear about that.
First off, thank you very much for this grant. We've received it so many years, I can't even keep track. The scouting program is a program for kids ages 5 to 21, and it builds character, leadership, and positive achievement in them. We start them off in kindergarten, and in kindergarten through 5th grade, they're in the Cub Scouts, and the motto at that time is to do your best. Do your best in whatever you're doing in life. And as they get into the older programs, into a troop, their motto is to be prepared. So we ultimately want to prepare them to be responsible citizens and contribute to the community as they get older and be responsible. We have about 150 scouts in Brick right now. We're hoping to grow that. I think actually you had a recent Eagle Scout here from Brick last month, Isabel from Troop 39. She's one of our most recent Eagle Scouts. And as a part of this grant, we can help develop our summer camp, which is in Barnegat. Joseph A. Sitta Scout Reservation, which some of the kids from Brick attend that, and this helps offset costs of that, and we are greatly appreciative of that. Thank you.
Make sure I got everybody on the first page. All right, next I'd like to call up Alice Woods from Oceans Harbor House. They are receiving $2,500 to assist homeless, abandoned, and abused youth with shelter, meals, tutoring, and programming through a network of professional counselors and case managers. So congratulations.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Mayor and Council. Thank you very much. We found out who our friends were a little bit last year. After 35 years, we closed our emergency youth shelter. We still have our transitional living program for aged out youth, which is ages 16 to 22. We have that. That house is full right now with 12 young people in it. A few of them are from Brick. But it was a very hard year last year, the hardest in my career, to close a program that was like that. But we were losing money from the state of New Jersey year over year over year. And, we want to be good stewards to our donors and supporters like you. So we had to sunset that. But right now we are happily on a journey to open the first non-rotating shelter in Ocean County for families. And we passed the Toms River Zoning Board. We had to get a use variance. I'm learning all this new stuff about building codes and stuff like that now, which is very fun. But we passed that, and now our next step is to get licensed by the Department of Community Affairs, and that should happen third quarter. And we're looking to open that family shelter, which will be for single-led families, single women, female-led families, and their minor children. We can serve up to 18 from all over Ocean County. When it happens, I'm going to say when, it will be the only family shelter that's non-rotating in Ocean County. So your support over the years and continuously, and especially now, that's what I mean. It's like it means so much to still be supported by people, even though we went through a rough time. We've got a bright future. So we really appreciate your help. Thank you so much.
Okay, next I'd like to call up Lori O'Toole from Providence House, who's receiving $7,500 to assist abused women by providing domestic violence counseling and legal advocacy in the family court system. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am the Community Affairs and Education Manager for Providence House Domestic Violence Services. We so appreciate you inviting us here. Thank you so much. I just want to start just by sharing something that I find kind of staggering. We don't talk a lot about financial abuse, and 99% of victims of domestic violence experience financial abuse. Thinking about the work that we're doing, all of you are doing, we are nonprofits, right? So that becomes very challenging. We want to make sure that our clients have access to the information that they need so they can get the funding that they need. $10 could make the difference of whether someone has enough gas in the car to flee, right? So that is something that is so significant. The average amount that a survivor has, average amount of money they have access to at any given time is less than $300. And I have sat across from many clients who do not have that. So we are so incredibly appreciative. The funds that we receive here help fund our legal program specifically. We have a legal advocacy program. What happens very often in that power and control dynamic in domestic violence is that the abusive partner tends to have control over all of the finances. So when something has to go down the legal route, our survivors don't have access to an attorney. They don't have access to the funds to get the legal information they need. So we are fortunate to have a legal advocacy program within our agency. We don't have attorneys, unfortunately, but we have people who have expertise in understanding the restraining order process, what it means to go through the divorce process when you are dealing with domestic violence, which just means it stretches out forever because it's another way for an abusive partner to manipulate. So what's fortunate is our legal staff continues to educate the rest of our staff. So know that these funds are something that are benefiting clients 24 hours a day. We have a 24-hour hotline, we have a shelter, and then we have all of our wraparound services, including the legal advocacy program that's over in Whiting is where all our wraparound services, and then we have our shelter in another location in Ocean County. So we are incredibly appreciative, and I bring up the 24/7 piece to know that even while you're sleeping, the funds you are providing us are helping somebody. So you can rest easy knowing that we always have a staff member available to all of our survivors, and we just want to thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, and finally, I'm going to call up our final recipient, Charlie Bacon, if you'd like to come down, from the Brick Morning Rotary, receiving $1,400 toward the Shore Movement Food Drive. Love to hear all about that.
As the mayor said, my name's Charlie Bacon. I represent the Brick Morning Rotary. Mayor, I want to thank you, the council, and the administration for giving us a grant this year again. And what I would want to do is recap a little bit how we use the grant money. I think it's kind of important. And when we get money from the township via grant, where that money is used directly as we donate food to food pantries, is for perishable food. The other advantage the grant has, and I'll give you an example. We did a food donation at Seeds of Service back in March. And as part of the grant money you gave us last year, thank you very much, we were able to give them $1,000. There was an anonymous person here that helps the Seeds of Service. They backed it with $1,000. So the grant actually goes for the perishable food, but it generates potentially other money that can come in from citizens of Brick. So a little bit about Shore Movement for some of you folks that haven't been in the room before. We founded it in November of 2020, right in the middle of COVID. Our first bin we actually put in a business. We all wore masks. And the premise behind that was we were looking for a way to get beyond trying to, traditionally a lot of Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and Rotary clubs go out and they go to supermarkets in November and December. And it was getting harder and harder for us to do that. So we came up with a concept of doing perpetual food drives. We literally have bins in about 10 towns right now, 3 or 4 counties, and we're continually picking up food, not only delivering for a lot of food in Brick, but in other places as well. So when we started that initiative, we partnered up with Wingman Planning. They're a marketing company. They also do a lot of internet work in Manasquan, so that was a great partnership for us as well. A little bit of a year in review since you were nice enough to give us a grant last year. And right now, if you're not aware, the shortages in food pantries and money coming in is worse than it was back in COVID when the United States, a lot of parts of the United States were closed. So in this past year, and I don't have all the stats because we did some things that were outside of this a little bit where we didn't actually weigh the food, but we delivered about 4,500 pounds of food, and about $6,000 went out over 10 different food pantries. Thanksgiving, we doubled what we did the year before, 22. We managed to deliver 257 turkeys, and you want to talk about a challenge of trying to get all those birds that are frozen and to make sure they don't spoil. So that was kind of an interesting thing on where we kept them. The Rotary's done this for years. We pick 5 families in need, and we supply them a Thanksgiving meal and a full week of food. We also do a toy drive. And this year, we did over 10,000 toys. Now, the problem in being in an organization like this, everybody's very competitive. They got a challenge in 23 for 15,000. I don't know if we're going to accomplish that, but that's a pretty lofty goal. We'll see. Our last donation we did was early June, and we broke records. We did over 1,042 pounds. We actually have scales now where we keep our food, so we can now measure the food. We go through it, we sort it, and then we actually box it up. We did 1,500 items of food. That was across a business that's located in 3 towns. And we also provided $1,000 in that as well. In closing, I'd like to say I'm going to plug the Rotary a little bit. We meet every Wednesday at the Brick Diner. Mayor, thank you for coming out. February 14th, you came in and gave us an update, just like Mayor Ducey did 3 other times. 2 more times, and you qualify to become a member of the Brick. And some of you out in the audience, I'm also the speaker chair of the club. I see 2 Rotarians out there. Bob Scott's in our Rotary. John, he's in the Rotary as well. He just came in and spoke about the Scouts at ours. We're always looking for anybody to come in. You can speak about your not-for-profit or business anybody's welcome. We're always looking for that. So thank you very much. Thank you, folks.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much. I'll tell my mom I saw you. Yeah, I'll see you there.
Oh, no, he did a great job. You can tell him I was saying he did much better. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this brings us to our consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. 4-1.
Authorization to cancel grant appropriated reserves and receivables.
This resolution authorizes the cancellation of grant appropriated reserves and receivables for the unspent funds in 3 grants from 2023 and 1 from 2022. 4-2.
Authorization to accept sub-grant award fiscal year 2024 Emergency Management Performance Grant, Emergency Management Assistance Agency Assistance Program.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pontarera.
Thank you, Mr. President. This resolution authorizes the acceptance of the FY23 Emergency Management Performance Grant in the amount of $10,000. That money is used to offset the salary of the Township's Emergency Management Coordinator. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-3.
Authorized bid for roadway improvements Cherry Quay Phase 2.
Council Vice President Ambrosino.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for roadway improvements that are part of Cherry Quay Phase 2 project. This project includes Royal Lane and Tiller Drive. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-4.
Authorized bid for Peterbilt parts, supplies, and repairs.
Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for Peterbilt parts, supplies, and repairs. This bid is for various repairs to township-owned Peterbilt trucks that cannot be done in-house. This is mostly due to the fact that the repairs require specialized equipment and training and/or the purchase of Peterbilt parts. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-5.
Authorized bid for step parts, supplies, and repairs.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for step parts, supplies, and repairs. This bid is for various repairs to township-owned step equipment, including tar, crack sealer, and asphalt recycler, which are used almost every day. These repairs cannot be done in-house due to the specialization nature of the equipment and required training.
Thank you. 4-6, please.
Authorize award of contracts for alternate and conflict public defenders.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of contracts for alternate and conflict public defender, including Peter Paul Law, Asbury Park, specifically Luann Peter Paul Esquire, the law offices of Alexander Nieves Martinez Esquire, Bayville, specifically Alexander Nieves Martinez Esquire, the law offices of Marco DiStefano Esquire of Union, specifically Marco DiStefano Esquire, and the law offices of Michael Pasticaldi LLC of Jersey City, specifically Michael Pasticaldi Esquire. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-7, please.
Authorize award of contract Summerfest food truck.
Councilwoman Pontarera, please.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of a contract in the amount of $750 with BB Shoe on Wheels Catering to be added to Summerfest for the food truck vendors. This vendor will be added to the list of food trucks that have already completed the necessary paperwork to provide food and refreshments at Summerfest. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-8, please.
Authorize award of contract for purchase and delivery Freddie Park Playground Safety Service.
Council Vice President Ambrosino.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes an award of contract in the amount of $152,760 with Rubber Recycle of Lakewood for the removal of old playground safety surface and the installation of new safety surface at Freddie Park. These funds were included in the 2024 capital budget. The township's capital budget includes ongoing maintenance of the parks and those safety surfaces, with Freddie being the oldest surface and most in need of replacement. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-9.
Authorize award of contract for purchase and delivery police interceptor utility vehicles.
Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the award of contract in the amount of $236,928 with All-American Ford of Old Bridge for 6 2023 or newer Ford Police Interceptor utility vehicles. These vehicles were included in the Police Department's 2024 budget as part of the ongoing work to rotate aging vehicles in the fleet. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-10.
Authorize 2024-2025 liquor license renewals without restrictions, consumption, distribution, and club licenses.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes 2024-2025 liquor license renewals without restrictions to certain preliminary retail consumption license and certain preliminary retail distribution license and also certain club licenses.
Thank you. 4-11.
Authorize 2024-2025 plenary retail consumption liquor license renewals with restrictions.
Councilwoman Dion.
Those businesses with restrictions are Applebee's, Barnegat Bay Services, Bonefish Grill, Buffalo Wild Wings, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Frit, Houlihan's, Maniloking Road Ale House, Outback Steakhouse, Quaker Steak and Lube, Red Robin, Trey Rosalita's, Tuscany, Urban Coal House, and Used to Be's.
Thank you. 4-12.
412A is a performance bond release for Block 322, Lot 2901, and 412B is a bond release for Block 1377, Lot 1.
Thank you. 4-13.
413 are tax overpayments for the year 2024 of Block 1421.02, Lot 4, in the amount of $2,010.55.
4-14.
Authorize agreement for beach maintenance, Bel Air Beach Association.
This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared service agreement with the Bel Air Beach Association for beach sweeping maintenance for the 2024 summer season. All costs of manpower equipment will be paid by the association, including diesel fuel for the beach rake. And this ends our consent agenda. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the resolutions only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
And this brings us to our computer bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $1,386,251.25.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the computer bill. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes. This brings us to our manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $2,007,465.78.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the manual bill resolution. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to our public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Anybody from public, please? Yes, sir.
Stephen Burrell, Evergreen Woods. I have lived in Evergreen Woods for over 20 years. The visual pollution resulting from the Garden State Parkway shoulder widening has increased. Numerous trees and bushes were removed from both the north and southbound lanes. The center median was clear-cut to install a detention basin that never has retained water. By the way, the basin was originally located next to Evergreen Woods, where old forest trees were removed and the earthen berm needed to be constructed as there was an engineering error. Many of the remaining trees along the shoulder with Evergreen Woods have since died, further increasing both the visual and noise pollution. Their trunks litter the shoulder. Recently, a large tree crashed onto a parked car and smashed its windshield. I have contacted the Turnpike Authority and they cut down more trees. However, the Turnpike Authority did not cut all the dead trees down or the dead tree limbs. It was mentioned at a prior town council meetings regarding Evergreen Woods Park Association not pursuing a no net loss grant to plant additional trees alongside the trees planted by the Turnpike Authority. While the area between the curb and the chain link fence is 17 feet wide, this strip cannot possibly provide enough room for the amount of trees to mitigate the noise and visual pollution. The Noise Control Act of 1971, NJSA 13:1G-1, authorizes the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection to establish sound level standards. The statewide sound level standards are 50 decibels during nighttime, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., and daytime level at 65 decibels. The state of New Jersey recognizes that noise above these levels constitute a public health nuisance. The exception to this law are highways, but the public health must be protected no matter the source. The NJTA violated its policy for constructing noise barriers in residential areas by purposely not performing a prior to construction noise study at Evergreen Woods, and further compounding that egregious action by not performing a noise study after the Garden State Parkway expansion. It must be noted that when Evergreen Woods was planned, the developer had to receive zoning and other approvals from Brick Township. Based on the conditions extant at the inception of the Evergreen Woods Park development, apparently noise from the Garden State Parkway was not considered excessive, or the buildings would have been located further from the highway. I am not requesting that Brick Township construct a sound barrier at township expense, but that the township employ all its resources to research viable alternatives to mitigate both the noise and visual pollution, have the recommendations presented to the Township Council, and if it approves, enlist the NJDEP, our elected state representatives, and the governor to pressure the New Jersey Turnpike Authority to finally act and correct a situation that should not have occurred. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from public, please? Seeing none, close public. Mrs. Bergen.
Thank you. I'll just add a little bit to the Evergreen Woods conversation. So, since I've been here for 10 years, there has been 3 residents that have requested, ongoing investigation. And I think the council meeting a few meetings ago, I went over the 10-year history of how many emails, how many meetings, how many people we met with, how much lobbying we did. And I also reminded everyone that at our expense, at the cost of $52,250, we paid for a noise study. And it was our intention to use township funds for this purpose, to take this report, and if it showed that they had to mitigate, that it exceeded the levels, we would have continued to pound on that fact till something was done. The noise study that we paid for, that was directed by the 3 residents that we were hearing from frequently, where the machine should be, how close they should be to home. They were very involved in that study, did not show that. So without that, and all these years later, there are not a lot of options for us. We have lobbied every state agency there is. The only other example of a community wanting a noise wall where it did not meet the criteria was East Brunswick. And how that was resolved is that the residents who requested the noise wall paid for it through a special assessment. So we also talked about not going down that route. We're always happy to talk more about it, but there's not enough justification for us to continue to drive out to Turnpike Authority and meet with people when we have exhausted, our options. Pollution is a problem everywhere. It's noise exceeds thresholds for people when the areas where they live become busier, but there's not the data for us to demand other than being heard, which we have been heard. So I just wanted to share that because I know there's a lot of folks at the dais that are still trying to educate themselves on the Evergreen Woods situation.
That's it.
That's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Mayor.
So it was really an honor tonight to be able to hand out our CDBG funds. And I may have spoken about this at the last council meeting, but I'd like to bring it up again at this council meeting. I had the opportunity recently to interview Susie Raby. She runs the Food Angels group. She's located in Lake Riviera. And I'm just reminded again tonight, as I heard the people from Oceans Harbor House and Interfaith Hospitality, and although they weren't here, Family Promise of the Jersey Shore, talking about the homeless issues that we do have here in Ocean County. And it's interesting that it was pointed out that, they do disappear. Our homeless population does disappear into our township throughout the day, and it just isn't as noticeable as like when you go to the city and there are homeless people who are like physically sitting on the street or begging for money. It looks a lot different here in Brick Township. So I wanted to highlight Susie Raby. I've had the opportunity to go out with her and her Food Angels group, and a quote comes to mind. Did you ever wish that sometimes you could freeze frame a single moment in your day, look at it and say, this is not my life? And having worked with Susie out with the homeless population in Brick Township, in Lakewood actually, I feel like a lot of people feel that way that are experiencing homelessness right now. So I wanted to highlight Susie. She's not somebody who received grant funding this evening, but she is someone who works very hard for the homeless population here in Ocean County on her own. She came up with the idea to serve hot meals every other Sunday morning in the town square in Lakewood. And if you are interested in helping her, there's lots of ways that you can do that. You can go on her Facebook page, it's Food Angels, and you can sign up to donate food that is prepared every other week to serve to the homeless population. They take clothing donations and shoe donations and monetary donations to help assist with all of the things that they get to that homeless population. So I just wanted to highlight her, even though I know she wasn't part of our group, and also say how proud I am to be mayor of a town where we are able to work hand in hand with so many good organizations that do a lot of good around our township. So I feel good about that. I also wanted to, we're closing out the school years. It's June, school's wrapping up this week. I wanted to congratulate all the preschoolers in the township, but especially because I had the opportunity to celebrate with our township preschool students that it's through the recreation department here in town at Civic Plaza. I was able to go to their graduation last week and also to their preschool prom, which is quite the event if you haven't been. And I wanted to thank those teachers who work here in the township to provide a really good foundation for those kids that are going into kindergarten next year. They're a delight, and they're so excited to be going to kindergarten next year in a full day program, and I'm excited for them as well. So congratulations to them and their parents. My only thing that I said at graduation to the parents for the first time preschoolers, because if you have older kids, you know this, I just reminded them, don't blink, because it goes really fast. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to our seniors at both Brick Township and Brick Memorial. They'll be graduating this Thursday, but especially for the Mayor's Senior Advisory the student advisory seniors that are graduating this year, I wish them all the best. It was wonderful working with them over the last 2 years. And if you are a parent or a student, I know there's tons of students out there watching this right now, who is interested in seeing what our teen center can become. We do have a survey and a link there. The link can be found, a QR code at all of our parks. If you go online to our Brick Township website and also our Facebook page, we have a link to that survey. We'd really like your input on what we should have at our teen center that we hope to have open in the fall for the new school year. Thank you to everyone who baked goods and purchased baked goods last week here at Town Hall. We were able to raise over $1,200 for the Relay for Life that took place on Friday. So I was excited to be a part of that as well. And I want to thank all of the kids who participate in the Emma Havens Young Early Act Club as we opened officially our second beach toy box at Beach 1. So there are toys to take. You can donate toys if you're at the beach. I will say as a parent, if my kids were still young, I wouldn't bother packing all the toys anymore. I just grab some toys when we got there, and then you return them when you leave, and it saves you from having a bunch of sand in your car. So check out the toy bins at both Beach 1 and Beach 3. Those are because the kids in the Early Act Club at Emma Havens were able to have those built and donate those toys. And I just want to say it is such a great idea that we were able to be featured on News Channel 4, that we featured what the toy boxes are, or the sand boxes, and there are a lot of communities around the United States now that are going to emulate what we're doing here in Brick, which is pretty cool. So I thought that was great for those students to really kind of take pride and ownership of that. Finally, we have our next pickup Brick will be June 22nd. From 10 to 1, 10 to 2 at Cherry Quay Clubhouse. We're going to meet there and then kind of go. If you were driving on Route 88 on Saturday, this past Saturday, you may have seen some people picking up garbage on the side of the road. That was also a pickup Brick. We're excited to get out there and really make a difference in the community. So check out the Brick Township website to see what our future dates are. But we hope to see you on the 22nd in Cherry Quay. And finally, a big hello to all of our fathers who will be celebrating Father's Day this Sunday. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Mr. Keneally?
Nothing to see.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary? Councilman Albanese?
Nothing.
Councilwoman Ponterero?
Thank you. I want to first thank Mrs. Bergen for articulating both a couple of meetings ago and then again tonight the complicated history that has spanned as long as I've been on council, which is about 10 years, regarding Evergreen Woods and our town's efforts to alleviate the concerns of the residents. And I appreciate you reminding me about the lack of the objective evidence which was required to get to the next level, but that was very defeating. Second, I want to wish everyone a happy Father's Day, especially the best father in the entire world, Giuseppe Poncherero, Papa Joe. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. I just want to thank all of our CDBG recipients for all of your efforts that you put out for our community. And to give them a little push, I'm going to talk about some volunteer opportunities that they all have, because they can all use more money and more of your time. So ARC of Ocean County, they have ARC ambassadors, which are volunteers that attend local events and fundraisers and just go out in the community to raise awareness. The Big Brothers and Big Sisters obviously mentor a young person. If you have the time and are able to mentor a young person, it's a couple year dedication, but it's a really, really great organization. Caregiver volunteers. Volunteers is obviously in the title of the organization. Like Bob Scott said, they have the Handy Andy, they do grocery shopping, they do friendly visitor, they have respite care and medical transportation, just to name a few of their opportunities that they have. Church of the Visitation, serve and cook meals, right, Marilyn? Always use help. It's a lot of fun too. Contact of Ocean and Monmouth County, they do crisis intervention. So if you're good on the phone, and even Keel, go on their website and fill out a volunteer form to see what that's about. Dottie's House, they have babysitting and assisting with events. It's the babysitting a lot is when, for the mothers, it's a domestic shelter, domestic violence shelter. So it's for the mothers that if they need to go to work, if they need to go to a job interview, something like that, it's something that they need so that they can have the money so that they can start thinking and providing for the financial life that they're going to have. Family Promise of the Jersey Shore, they need help with preparing meals, overnight sleepovers, and you offer compassion and support to those families. Interfaith Family Services, set up and break down of meals, donate provisions. They have clerical volunteer opportunities, all kinds of stuff. Jersey Shore Council of Scouts, be a leader. Go on their website, see what there is. Maybe you specialize in something, a rock climbing thing, and can go be an instructor and show them how to do that. All kinds of stuff for them. Ocean Harbor House and Providence House, they both have wish lists that they need for their different shelters and programs. A lot of toiletries, a lot of snacks, a lot of food, that kind of thing. And of course, the Brick Morning Rotary Club. That's an entire volunteer organization, and it's businesses that want to serve the community. So those are the different volunteer opportunities that they have from our CDBG award recipients. And with that, I just want to wish everybody out there a happy Father's Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. There's just 2 events coming up that I just want to briefly highlight and talk about. There's one tomorrow, Thursday the 13th, Saving for College workshop. Held at the Brick Library. They're going to have an informative workshop on how to effectively save for your child or grandchild's college education, and they're going to explore various savings plans and help you choose the best option for your family's needs. Learn practical tips and strategies to maximize your savings and ensure a bright educational future for your loved ones. If we prepare today for tomorrow, we'll be safe as kittens. Also, for those younger viewers out there, Superheroes Craft Day on Friday, June 14th, also at the Public Library in Brick from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. They're going to create crafts based on their favorite superheroes. So again, that's Friday the 14th, the first day after school lets out. So talk about planning for college, you should plan for the summer ahead of time. So stay safe and have fun. Thanks.
Thank you. Council Vice President Ambrosino.
Thank you, Council President. I'd just like to echo the Mayor and Councilwoman DeYoung's comments regarding the fantastic organizations that were recognized here today with some of the CDBG grant funds. The work that you do in the community is outstanding and is what makes Brick a wonderful place to live. I'd also like to, you've reminded me that it's Father's Day, say happy Father's Day to my father, Onofrio Ambrosino, who's a Brick resident and has been for nearly 45 years. And I'd also like to congratulate all of our students who will be ending their school year, all of the graduates who will be graduating from high school or being promoted from 8th grade, and perhaps extend my sympathies to all of the parents who, like me, will need to figure out what to do with their kids for the next 3 months. But that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Did you say safe as kittens?
I did indeed.
Okay, thank you. I'm just making sure.
Good,
I
good
made a
highlight.
note of that, just making sure.
Yeah.
So I can't follow that, so I'm just gonna look for a motion and a second to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
And our next meeting is June 25th. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.